People are waiting. It tells you. I mean, on YouTube, it tells you how many people are waiting, but on
faggots on YouTube are
boomery old StreamYard. Anyways,
I would start immediately.
Oh well, guess what? We were already live for the past 10 seconds. Wow. I thought it was worth throwing up a stream and throwing up.
I thought it was worth throwing up because
Just
we
a
have to
general
talk
throwing
about we have to talk about King Commodus, Cape Cacus.
Emperor Commodus, the king toilet. It's kind of funny. This, as far as I know, only
I
leaked
find it
today.
kind of funny, but also
I find it kind of sad. I suppose I find it kind of sad. This apparently only leaked today. Today.
I swear I remember seeing this before. It might just be a different iteration of something similar that has been said about the same thing.
Yeah, Ethan's said a lot of stuff in DMs that's, I guess you could say, is leak worthy, like his bladder, fucking. But this is from
colostomy bag.
Yes, as you could see, this is from like last year, May 14th, 2020. So slightly under a year ago. And the reason why I bring that up is because Water Closet sat on this for an entire year thinking that it was completely cool and that there was nothing wrong with it. And they're like, yeah, take that, Doug. Because the
Worm Doug, that's what they call him.
Yeah, the false narrative.
They used to call him.
It's funny, you said something earlier, like an hour ago in the Discord about like what Doug, how Doug backstabbed Comicsgate.
That's the narrative they try and always share.
But it was something very specific that you said about how. Hold on a second. I got to scroll up, but it was you said. There was some mention. Somebody named Cyberfrog CG fuck Disney Star Wars, which goes to show the priorities that these nerders have. the purest form of nerder logic.
If only there was a word I could call them that would make them
as angry as I am. But they said, Doug TenNapel, I remember a time when you stabbed Comicsgate in the back, which there's nothing gayer than whining about being stabbed in the back. If you are a person,
especially about
e-drama, stabbed in the back just because you got criticized, you're not even a man. Which nobody in Comicsgate is a man. Every single person in Comicsgate is a
drama. Somebody talked bad about me on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not a man.
You will never.
You're not a man. You're not even a boy.
Something bad about me on Twitter. That's what Comicsgate basically has amounted to, and in fact, very much worth bringing up. Our documentary about Comicsgate is getting into this. We just recorded brand new episodes, but there's several episodes on our channel right now, and the new episodes that we've just did are going to be early access on our Subscribe Star, and the link is below in the description. You do have to pay money, and I would rather not have to have anyone pay money for us, but the fact is that Comicsgate made it so we have to put up a paywall because Comicsgate as a movement, individually and collectively, was false flagging our channel because they didn't like what we were saying, even though what we were saying was the objective truth and
it wasn't even evidence. It wasn't even us being mean to them. It was us just quoting them.
Yeah, they couldn't even say, you guys are being, well, some of them, of course, some of the whinier bitches, like Umbrella Guy and Nick Ricada, the more effeminate people out there were like, you guys are being mean to me. And they would do like entire streams where they would cry like little bitches about it.
The biggest crybabies on the entire fucking internet. They're the biggest jokes on the internet.
Yes. I think Ricada might want to invest in a paternity test. A couple of his kids might actually be mine from just from the brutal fucking treatment that I did over the internet. Did you know sometimes you can impregnate another man's wife over the internet just with internet words?
Sometimes you can impregnate a man so hard that his wife gives birth.
Yeah, exactly. We got Nick Ricada Mpreg so hard that his wife gave birth to our kids.
He's
It's true.
waxing his modem.
He's trying to make it go faster. Anyways,
What a fucking dolt.
Luster Dog says Doug backstabbed Comicsgate by not thanking. Yeah, this is the actual story. This is actual.
Now we have to get into the actual story, because jokes aside, this is the funniest part. But
Yes.
You thought the jokes were funny. Just wait until you hear the truth.
I mean, you may not have thought the jokes are funny. The jokes are very offensive. They're mean-spirited, which is for sure the worst kind of joke. If something's mean-spirited, it's for sure bad.
It's kind of like when fucking Donald Trump posted those mean tweets.
He made those mean tweets. He's
What's
for
worse?
sure the worst person in the universe.
I mean, I'd much rather have somebody bomb Syria than make mean tweets.
Yeah, I would rather have somebody raise the gas prices by many dollars per gallon. Anyways, yet Luster Dog points out Doug backstabbed Comicsgate by not thanking Ethan for teaching him how to crowdfund comic books at some obscure panel at Comic-Con. I don't know if it was even an obscure panel, but I mean, it wasn't one of the big giant
That's
panels.
the big accusation that fucking Ethan has.
Is that
he's got backstabbed? He got backstabbed in the gunt.
Yeah, that's fucking. He got. That's always. But it's very suspicious how Ethan's always claiming that one person backstabs him, then another person. It's like, if everyone is backstabbing you, they're actually not. You're just making it up. Which is, Ethan has a very long history of this, and his real behavior is seen in private, and that's what this is. And it's very strange that, again, that this DM just sat around and nobody thought it was a problem. All the people he sent this DM to never thought it was a problem until the bickering turned against them. Basically, Ethan Van Sciver, for the past couple of years, like since 2018, basically, has run a docs ring and a docs gay ops brigade that Ethan has a proven history of taking some of his private backer information for Cyberfrog and giving it to people that he pays. They're called War Campaign. He paid War Campaign to, get this like person's identity and just go pester them because Ethan no longer liked them, even though they're a customer, and betraying the trust of like somebody's private information.
That's the one thing you don't do. If you're claiming that you want better customer support, you want better comics and all that shit, you just in general, if you want to be a crowdfunder, the one thing you never do is this.
Yeah, and this was proof actually that Comicsgate never cared about better customer service or customer support or customer support helplines or whatever the fuck they claimed. They claimed a lot of shit that
you can take it to the ultimate belief, the absolute belief that it's about like not abusing the customers, not treating them like shit, not shit talking them. He absolutely violated every single concept of whatever you might think that is.
Not just Ethan, but other people in Comicsgate like took private backer information to use against their own customers if suddenly they did. And these people, a lot of these people are mentally ill, which we had proven years ago. And you notice after we proved that, it was like in 2019, all of a sudden Comicsgate started calling people mentally ill and that kind of shit. It didn't happen until after we pointed out that Ethan Van Sciver has provable rapid cycling bipolar disorder and also many traits and symptoms of borderline personality disorder. And this is proof right here. See, this is the thing. That was not just supposition or an accusation or like we're guessing. It was proven by stuff like we had been privy to a lot of stuff behind the scenes of Comicsgate and Ethan Van Sciver's behavior that everyone else in Comicsgate had never been aware of. The thing is that in order to basically show well, some of it was stuff we were just told, but it was told by pretty much the most trustworthy people who were like, yeah, Ethan did this to me, or Ethan said this. And we've had private conversations with pretty much everyone who is declared a betrayer of Comicsgate. And all of them have stories about how Ethan behind the scenes is a complete psychopath, not a fucking like internet accusation.
I
Like
mean, now we don't even.
psycho. He once put pineapple on his pizza. Something else to do with pizza in this situation, but he acts
Maybe
like a
cheese
raving
pizza.
lunatic constantly, and is not. That's not just some accusation. There's again.
Well, I mean, here we're seeing it. You're looking at
We're
it.
looking directly at
showing,
more. This is
showing
merely
this
more
is it.
proof of it.
Are you
But it's
seeing
funny
it
that
now?
this was sat on for an entire year because the people who saw this saw no problem with this. They saw no problem. And for anyone who's not looking at the screen, I'll just read this. Comic Artist Pro Secrets from
That's Ethan Van Sciver's personal fucking Twitter and YouTube
Ethan
account.
Van Sciver, May 4th, 2020. Ethan Van Sciver. And he said stuff like this in public, even on other chat rooms and stuff, or just in public tweets. You can see that it's spoken with the same voice. And I could find some of those other tweets too, I'm sure.
It's printed exactly the same way he always.
Yeah, he talks like this a lot. It's very reminiscent. Remember in 2019 when we did the first documentary about Comicsgate called Cape Cuck Recap, where we went over the tweets where Ethan Van Sciver, we were actually the first people to ever post those and show them and do a video about them, where Ethan Van Sciver, responding to the anonymous 4chan joke posts, basically being like, "Oh yeah, Ethan Van Sciver tried to suck my dick once over Craigslist, and then he met me and saw comics, and he ran off." And it's like, oh, that's just some goofy somebody's like doing a prank or something.
That's a weird joke. That is a very weird joke to be telling about it. Basically, a Z-list comic pro.
Yes. Well, let's be fair. D-list. That's much more fair.
If we're being fair, Booster Gold is more famous and popular and well known than Ethan Van Sciver.
Yes. Anyways, his response to that in DMs, which somebody leaked, was like, "Oh fuck that guy, let his cunt wife die," and it was like, whoa. Whose cunt wife? You're responding to an anonymous 4chan post that looks like a joke. All of a sudden, Ethan's like, "His cunt wife died." He's like fucking losing his mind. And even the other guy he was talking to was like, "Okay, Ethan." And that was out in like 2018. So that's old news. If you haven't seen that, you're kind of burying your head in the sand at this point. You're not just out of the loop. You're intentionally keeping yourself in denial. Because everyone behind the scenes in Comicsgate was laughing at Ethan about that. And that's part of why Ethan started calling people betrayers, because they had become aware of Ethan's behavior like this, where he's been like this for a long time.
That's what you do when you're the problem.
Yeah. Yes.
You're the problem. You call other people betrayers.
It's that old saying. It's that old saying that everyone outside of Comicsgate is aware of, but nobody in Comicsgate knows anything about. The old saying that's like, if you go outside and everyone you meet is an asshole, you're the asshole. That's Ethan. Everyone's betraying him and everyone's an asshole to them. But here's the thing, is that Comicsgate is by nature a hug box. It's a hug box for weak, like thin-skinned people and effeminate people who are afraid of like other people's reactions. So that's the nature of comic book nerds in general. Nerders, as the new hard R that needs to be introduced.
New hard R, nerder, double D.
Nerders.
NIRDDERs.
Yes. Zuh. Anyways, I said I was going to read the DMs and I didn't even do that. Anyways, so Ethan Van Sciver from, again, about a year ago, May 14th, 2020, says, "This has been the greatest day of my life. All of my enemies have fallen," which wasn't even true. But what he's referring to,
what a fucking faggoty drama whore.
Yeah, it's very soap opera. He's like a woman on a soap opera who's like, "Yes, all of my enemies."
Less respectable.
Yeah, less masculine and respectable than an overacting drama queen on a
less
soap opera.
Sympathetic. So
yeah,
he puts a simp in sympathetic.
If he was on Melrose Place, they would have pushed him into the pool after one episode where he would never be seen again.
Not to kill him. He'd just fall into the pool, and then
He
that's
would
the
die
end of
though.
it.
He would fucking sink to the bottom because of the fat would be it normally is so buoyant, but in this case the fat would be so heavy.
It's when you weigh that much,
Yes,
the fucking
it
fat
outdoes the buoyancy. That's
actually fucking pulls you to the bottom.
yes. And also, he got sucked into one of the filter intakes and was ground into red paste. They had to strain him out afterwards. Very, very tragic.
Holy shit! Wow, that
Very
filter,
weird, very strange.
That's
very
a strong
tragic.
filter.
Yeah. He apparently got sucked into the air filter or the pool filter asshole first, like he was trying to press it. Why was he doing that?
Wow, that is weird. That's weird.
That's weirdo behavior on Ethan Van Sciver's part. You know what's even more weirdo behavior though? This DM that I said I was going to read and I still haven't. But here, the thing is that the greatest day of his life is Ethan Van Sciver saying, "Doug TenNapel has cancer, and I'm about to destroy Earthworm Jim's 5-month campaign in 2 months, making all of his disciples cry."
That's a really important element too, that I think no one but me will ever point out, is he is so angry that Earthworm Jim made more money.
This comes out of pure anger. This is fury on Ethan's part. The thing is, also, the reason why he supposedly knew he was going to fucking destroy Earthworm Jim's campaign is because something that also was found out later is that Ethan was discovered to have specific like very rich individuals who were just padding his campaign with a bunch of sock puppet accounts and fucking like, you know, split funding and or sometimes just a bunch of group funding.
Actually, if you can explain some of that, that's worth mentioning too.
Well, we've got
to understand the psychology.
Done a video about that one from a while ago.
Did.
So if people are unaware of that, again, you're just burying your heads in the sand.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to understand the psychology of somebody who would actually be happy to hear that somebody had cancer, because the guy who got cancer also sells comic books.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that notice the guy who got cancer, Doug TenNapel, never talks like this. He doesn't talk about how he's going to destroy people's campaigns. He never says anything. Wait, hold on. This might be more important. Breaking news from Jim Tuner. This is distracting from the big event of the day. Richard C. Meyer is watching Justice League right now. We are hours away from the review. I can't wait to see what he says. Although something that was very interesting and funny is, like, yesterday, to also like just another double-footed kick in the balls for Comicsgate and other nerders, is that
everything they say, everything they do is double-footed kick in the balls to themselves.
But what happened was Zack Snyder came out and basically denounced Geeks and Gamers, which is run by other like psychopaths too. And again, there's physiognomy to fucking show that in a way. But the thing is that the way they simped for Ethan Van Sciver, while knowing that a lot of people behind the scenes knew this about Ethan. But the thing is, this specific DM about Ethan gloating about Doug TenNapel having cancer basically was sat on. Like, the people who leaked this didn't think anything was wrong or bad about it. You notice the morality of the people in Comicsgate. And, you know, also, of course, War Campaign. But War Campaign was simply the paid attack wing to the internal, like, the sort of secret police that would go around attacking other people in comics.
People keep acting like this, like they just keep forgetting about this. We have to stop and continuously remind people about this shit. He had a fucking dox brigade over his comics,
and that was publicly known too. That was not like some weird secret behind the scenes thing. That was completely out in the open, and people in Comicsgate, knowing it was out in the open, would just say, "No, actually, they're cool people," as they were doxing and attacking people who were part of Comicsgate. Every time you see somebody who says, oh, war campaign's okay. They're making excuses for doxing and harassing their own movement or their own supporters and their own customers. Comicsgate has attacked its own customers for years, its own customers. So they are, anytime they're like, oh, we're against that, they're for it. They've in practice. Their words are as empty as their souls, of course, but their words are completely betrayed by their actions. And that's something that other creators, like people like Doug TenNapel, have actually said. We're the real version. We're the people who put our money where our mouth is. And when we say something, we actually hold to the principle. Whereas every single person who has ever supported Comicsgate has betrayed what they claim to believe. By either supporting it openly and engaging in the same behavior, or by sitting on the sidelines and refusing to denounce when Comicsgate would attack its own customers, or, in Ethan's case, leak private backer information, which he did multiple times, actually. Not just the Bean from PA situation, but a couple other private stories that I don't want to blow up anyone's spot, because they can get targeted, and that's something that's also regularly happened.
That's the reason why we can't just name names, even though I would absolutely love to.
Yeah, we would, like, any second without anything, but I've done that before, and all of a sudden they get in trouble because I named names, and it's like now they're getting attacked more, and they're getting harassed by, well, not just in Comicsgate, but there's been other circumstances. When I was much younger, of course, in my 20s, I would just blab everything I was told, and then people would be like, "I didn't want you to say that in public," and I was like, "Oh, oops."
Oh no, I would spoil movies for people.
Well, not just that, but just like stuff with.
I know people were very upset when I spoiled whatever the end of
Sharon Shoots Adama.
The fucking all right, yeah, fucking just bullshit.
Yeah,
just like thing you didn't watch the show. You didn't watch the show when it first aired, and now you're going to be upset that there's a spoiler in a thread where we're talking about the latest events of fucking Battlestar Galactica.
Gay lactica. I mean, I like the show, actually.
Gay lactic acid.
The worst kind of lactic acid.
Motherfuckers.
Anyways, all of this.
My advice to you would be to keep your distance.
Well, because right now we're dangerous. Not in any other particular time frame, but specifically right now. Anyways, this is again just a one piece that is further evidence of showing. And notice how he ends it with "Hail War Campaign," which is again, it's another part of how Ethan lies constantly and acts like he had nothing to do with War Campaign, while in private and in DMs he was paying War Campaign, but also in public he paid War Campaign money.
One thing that
and then in private he gave them orders to attack other people.
This was the number one thing that people knew about him at this exact era was, oh, this is the guy who's the leader. He calls himself the leader of Comicsgate, also the leader of War Campaign, and War Campaign refers to him as Caesar, and they're on shows together where he will refer to himself as Caesar and says, "Hail War Campaign," and then these fucking douchebags in War Campaign will chant "Hail Caesar."
That's the thing. War Campaign also, by nature, their inherent purpose of War Campaign, also known as Water Closet or Toilet Campaign,
because they use the emoji for toilets in their fucking Twitter.
Yes, unironically, they did that for a long time, and most of them still do, having no clue what it means.
And you people are fucking just behind the fucking field.
Yeah, they're so in the dark. It's hilarious. They're basically War Campaign has been our joke at their own expense for the past couple of years now, and they don't even know it. Like all of us, not just me and my brother, but a lot of other people from Comicsgate have been laughing at War Campaign's behavior since like 2019 easily. But also kind of in some puzzlement at just how obviously mentally unbalanced they are. And that's another very telling thing is Ethan Van Sciver. They were obviously, most of them have like criminal records, history of, being locked in asylums and that kind of stuff. or being on powerful psychotropic
getting jailed.
medication for like unstable mental illnesses. And Ethan Van Sciver knew all of this and paid them to attack other people in Comicsgate.
Stalking in particular, real life stalking. That was the big one.
Yeah, that's right. One of them actually had to plead guilty to being a stalker of multiple people. It's very strange, very odd. Let's see. There was some other things. Somebody actually made an account called Comicsgate Posting Their L's, which has content that could last for thousands and thousands of years, really. But it's funny how some of the, like, there's just other examples of Ethan Van Sciver posting in public. There's hundreds of examples of this, but I'm just gonna, let's see, where's the Brave tab? Is this it? Yeah, this one. Yeah, here, just an example of Ethan like having a whiny bitch fit. And again, one other thing I was going to point out that's extremely important that nobody else has ever mentioned before in the history of human speech is, and that's also very true, and something that, again, a lot of people that we talk to who are from Comicsgate or were partially involved in Comicsgate but didn't want to have, I mean, they have admitted it and stuff, is that War Campaign essentially is like the listen and believe shill tangent of Comicsgate. I mean, the entire thing is. So it not tangent, but basically like a brigade that is based on worshiping an e-celeb, which is inherently effeminate.
If you guys love feminism, then you'll love War Campaign.
The thing is that proves objectively that War Campaign is effeminate, low T men, because no man with high T worships a fucking an e-celeb, or really listens and believes to anyone. A guy with high T listens and believes to no one and nothing. A guy with high T puts nobody above themselves. Actually, it's kind of one of the parts of having testosterone, is that you usually are willing to strike out on your own and not worship another man or anything, really. But that's the thing. That's proof that War Campaign is like effeminate as people, like by nature. It's genetic.
One thing you
can't do anything about it.
As a
man,
man,
to become men in the future.
You have to be like able to fucking stand up on your own principles.
We just objectively proved that mathematically proved that War Campaign inherently is effeminate. And that's the thing. There is no argument against that. All anyone will do is just get mad about it, which is all War Campaign has ever done. Because by nature, all they ever do, and again, that's proven by that DM. They just sat on it for a year because they clearly saw no problem with it, with gloating about Doug TenNapel getting cancer. They're like, yeah, that's right, Caesar. Gloat about how somebody else is getting cancer. That
person is getting
not
cancer
immoral at all,
because you told us that we should hate them.
Yes. They worship. They bent the knee. War Campaign collectively and individually bent the knee to Ethan Van Sciver, and all of them chose to do that. Who does that except for a faggot? And that's, that again, that's proof. That's not me making an accusation. That's not me observing anything. That's how reality objectively is, and always
just
has.
An absolute bitch-made punk ass.
But the thing is, even more importantly, is that then through that, Comicsgate supported that behavior too. So every single person
never fucking.
Comicsgate
I don't hear them
an immoral
anything.
person by nature, genetically an immoral.
I don't hear
person.
them. I don't hear a single one of them denouncing this.
Yes,
they've had plenty of time to do that too.
They've had years of time. They've had years to say, okay, this is wrong to do this, and then they never said it.
Most of them, in fact, no one should ever do.
Never fucking say it, even after it's obviously wrong.
Why would he do this? I oppose this. Nope, nothing. None of that.
In fact, all of them made, like, even guys like Just Some Guy made excuses for all of this. And so that's why Just Some Guy is inherently an immoral person and always will be for his entire life, no matter what he does, because he supported this. We've never supported anything like this in our entire life.
More than that. It's not just this. If it was
like
just
all
this, I
all
could
the
be
other
like,
guys
oh,
too
he
who
didn't
have
know
been on
better.
with Ethan Van Sciver,
He
every
goes
single
on and
one of
on.
them is immoral too,
He
proven
goes
by this
on this.
objectively.
It's 100,000 times worse.
Yes. It's more than merely being immoral. It's supporting corruption. Every single member of Comicsgate, everyone who has ever supported Comicsgate has supported corruption innately. Even Doug TenNapel admitted he supported corruption by being part of Comicsgate, and he basically had to come out and admit that. He fucking did that on a stream with us. And that's the thing, is that that is the only exception then, is to have actual first of all, having the actual capacity for repentance, which again, Comicsgate isn't, everyone who's still in Comicsgate, they've missed that boat. It's come and gone. They're sitting there now supporting corruption after it's been already after it's basically imploded. Comicsgate is dead already. It's been dead. The people who are still supporting it don't even know that yet. They're in denial, which is a mental illness. So the people still in Comicsgate are mentally ill, not just because they're in denial, but they're in denial because they're mentally ill. Which again is not my opinion or my observation. It's objectively proven.
I'm not happy about it. I'm not gloating about it. I'm simply noticing. Again,
we're not
is this a
gloating
war on
about it the
noticing?
same way that Ethan Van Sciver gloats about other people getting cancer. And as he was gloating about other people getting cancer, Comicsgate was supporting him. And the thing is that wasn't private. Ethan Van Sciver wasn't privately like this. He was very publicly known to already be like this. So that DM wasn't just like, oh, I can't believe Ethan's like this.
You're
He's been
revealing
like this whole time.
it's betraying his trust.
Yeah.
I don't
Anyway,
give a
so
I don't give a shit if it's private or public. If
no,
you
well, first of all,
think something like this,
he's gloating about someone getting cancer. Fucking you have no right to that being private and having that defense either.
Yeah, why
if
can't he
I
at least
said that,
stand by
I would
it?
have every right to have that leaked.
I mean, I'd also stand by it if I was saying it about somebody, because I'd be saying it about somebody who deserves it, not somebody who's just competition.
And why is nobody else in Comicsgate even capable? Why does nobody, not a single person in Comicsgate has ever had the balls to even say anything like this, by the way? All of it's objectively true. It's been proven.
Because they're liars
right there in front of, staring you in the face, and every single person, like to the remotest degree, like even former Comicsgate people, or like even the tangents and that kind of stuff, like Richard or Cummings, or just some guy, or even Comic Book Hut, or fucking whoever else was ever a supporter of Comicsgate or tries to be a supporter now, does not have any balls. They're completely nutless cowards. Even Richard C. Meyer's a coward, but that's an old proven argument that we won a long time ago. That again, proven by Terrence Popp, who's a fucking Green Beret, or was he Green Beret or Ranger?
Yeah, I think the same thing.
The same thing. Well, if they're not the same thing, no, we're in trouble. But I don't care. Who cares? But my point is, really, we're trying to cover like 200 points of
200. I mean, this could be a 2-hour show to cover and recover a whole lot of these topics.
Yeah, I'm trying right now. What I really need to do is I need to kill that Kuvalage, because
you know what I need most of all from Comicsgate? I need to get the fucking the deep dive. Yes, exactly. The deep dive in Deep Rock Galactic.
Yeah, the weekly deep dive popped, and we need to go do that, like right after this dumb stream. This is stupid shit. Because it's about stupid shit.
You know what else I need from
bickering?
You know what I need?
Insignificant people doing insignificant things.
One of the significant things I need from Comicsgate is I need to do the dishes. There's some dishes, they're piled up. I need to fucking go.
Comicsgate's not going to do the dishes. Comicsgate can barely keep their rooms clean.
They need to go and make their bed.
Yes, and get raped in it. That's why does Comicsgate keep doing that? I don't know, but they choose to intentionally, which is, again, Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder was like, Geeks and Gamers, by the way, we have no association with. And that was like a 50-second clip. And the Geeks and Gamers, like fucking nut job moron, again, completely scrotumless loser, whiny, effeminate nerds in Geeks and Gamers was like, I can't believe he said that he's just virtue signaling. And it's like, no, you're a liability. You are a liability.
Is there some way both of these people can lose?
Like that fucking guy. I don't really even know anyone in Geeks and Gamers, but it's like, but then I recognize like one of the main guys, like literally has the physiognomy of fucking like a wife beating child abuser or something. And you know what they say about that kind of stuff? It's
real.
true.
It's real.
Physiognomy real.
I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I know it's real.
It's for sure real. I mean, it is actually extremely telling. You can look just by looking at his face. It's like, oh yeah, there's definitely something wrong with that guy as a human being. But anyways, yeah. So Humble Frog Merchant says this is exactly how life is in Comicsgate. Hell, J Potts. And then one of his former Attack Squad guys, like, you know, around there, simp boy. And Ethan, the human sunbeam, replies with like, quite pseudo homosexual keyboard bitch. And it's just so right off the bat, again, these are public tweets. And look at what a little bickering faggot Ethan Van Sciver always has been.
Easily hurt.
Again, these are from 2020.
He's so easily hurt.
Yes, his feelings are extremely thin, but that's nothing new. In fact, we are the ultimate like proof of other people's thin skin by nature. Just by us existing, other people will feel how thin their skin.
We're some of the first people to discover this shit.
Yes, usually without even any intent. We just exist, and other people like throw themselves to the ground and start pouting and crying. And there's many examples that we've shown. But also just but even without us, look at how much of a fucking, like, here's the other guy's like, I'm strong as your chest, sweetheart. At least I've not got on my chest. And Ethan says, no, you got WCC on your chest, bitch. And it's just like whiny, petulant, crying.
Shouldn't you be above this if you're supposed to be the big man, the Emperor Caesar of fucking Comicsgate?
Why really, Ethan Van Sciver has always been an effeminate, nutless faggot, and we're having a good long laugh at your expense. And that's really the point of all this. And I wanted to also, even more important, is all this stuff about Comicsgate, the failure of Comicsgate as a movement, the failure of their principles. We're doing a new documentary, really just a blog series, but hey. It's as good as anyone's going to get because it's the most honest documentary you will ever get. And again, we're the most honest people to ever talk about this, as claimed, as said by other people who were in Comicsgate. The most accurate version of the story of Comicsgate you will ever get in your entire life will only be from us. And as said by people like Doug TenNapel and Tim Lim and Mark Pellegrini,
as these people,
especially not to name drop, you know how I don't like to name drop.
These people specifically admitted, and they mentioned it about us.
Yeah, specifically about us. But and you know that's I guess that's a point of pride, which is pride. Is pride a sin? No, fucking that would be gay to say.
Is sin real?
No. Well, it was real in Final Fantasy X, the wonderful classic.
It's more real. It's more real in Final Fantasy X than it is in the Bible.
The Bible, fucking. How come Moses came down from the mountain with it? He was like, "Stop worshiping that golden idol and worship these stone idols instead." That seems a bit hypocritical. Gotcha religion.
And then he broke them because he knew that they were idols, and then he was punished.
It's a very Old Testament thing, though. They're always ripping their own
forever
stuff, which I always thought was funny. Forever. I used to laugh all the time. Mom was like, "Oh, then he tore his clothes. King David tore his clothes in anger." It's like, haha, fucking. It's like some kind of streetcar named Desire shit or something.
Fucking what a larper!
Yes,
King David sounds like a real larper.
King David, more like the king of larpers. You want to see a real king? You come to me.
And Mel Gibson, a realer king than King David.
That's right. Mel Gibson, did he do anything wrong? You know, I don't think so. I don't know. Probably not.
I don't know. You'd have to. I can't answer that. You have to decide for yourself.
Yeah, I think you got to decide for yourself sometimes. Anyways, so yeah, as far as the real story of Comicsgate, if you want to hear about it, if you want to see the true story of behind the scenes of Comicsgate, I guess subscribe and hit the bell or something, because we've already started posting. I think we made an introductory episode, and then we've made the first episode was about the principles of Comicsgate, which we objectively disproven. That we showed Comicsgate didn't believe its own principles, and in fact betrayed everything it claimed to have principles about.
They pay lip service, as a lot of people tend to do, to pretty ideas that they can't actually hold up to. Mostly,
so, again, if you want to see that, if you want to check that out, and if you want to support that, our Subscribe Star is linked below. You'll get early access to the episodes. We just recorded a bunch of new episodes that only Subscribe Star subscribers will be able to see.
You get more than that
to our channel. It'll be like a month in advance or 2 months.
In particular, is you get a lot of fucking videos that are just locked for
the rest. There's a bunch of other secret videos, just about all sorts of various things, usually about comics, because our blog was always a comics review blog that was getting deplatformed by the SJWs before Comicsgate ever existed. And then deplatformed by Comicsgate. In fact, the story of Comicsgate being corrupt is basically partially our story about us.
In fact, the story about us kind of more important, more relevant.
Also, I guess if you want to see like the direct evidence and proof of Comicsgate being corrupt, go to our BitChute, Kawhi Thomas on BitChute, and scroll back to all those videos from 2019, Cape Cuck recap, and you can watch all of those as many hours of us babbling, but also showing the evidence, showing the screen caps and that kind of stuff. And there's plenty more evidence just laying around that most people don't look at, because we know people don't look at. I'm like, well, fucking, we're just going to talk about it because it's already proven. The evidence is already there that people just ignore. So instead of me sitting here and gathering screen caps and stuff, it's like, we'll just talk. We'll just say what it is. And, if people don't believe us, they're choosing, again, Comicsgate intentionally chose to believe lies when the evidence was staring them in the face. That's old. That's fucking that's going back to 2018 and 2019. I remember Nerd Wonder in particular. I was invited to a DM group and Nerd Wonder was in there, and I was like, oh, hey, did you hear that Ethan Van Sciver threatened to dox Nurkish? And people were like, no, that's not true. So I posted the screen caps, and then I got kicked out, and Nerd Wonder refused to believe it. But now that's changed. Now
that's a red flag.
2 years later, Nerd Wonder's like, oh, Ethan is bad. And it's like, yeah, way to take the hint, dummy. But
that's a huge red flag when somebody does something like that.
I mean, I don't hate people for that, but I don't really care. I'm not going to have involvement or give anyone credit for finally, after years, admitting what had been already true and proven. But and there's a lot of examples like that of other people, just ignoring evidence as it's shown, or somebody lies to them, like when Tug made up fake death threats about his family. And everyone in Comicsgate became listen and believe shills. Well, not became, were listen and believe shills when it came to Tug, refusing to even look at any evidence, refusing to want to look at evidence. They just wanted to take an e-celeb, like a whiny, pathological, compulsive lying e-celeb's word for the claims. And instead of, and that leads to where Comicsgate always was, which is and War Campaign inherently, a bunch of people who want to worship, to bend the knee, to be shills, to be obedient. War Campaign by nature, even by their own admission, was obedient. The thing is, if you're obedient, you are a bitch. You always will be a fucking whiny, weak faggot. You're weak of will, but you're also physically weak then. because you're bending the knee. If you're fucking getting down on that one knee or on both knees, on War Campaign's part.
Apparently, Nerd Wonder moved on to get involved with Liam Gray after Ethan.
Oh boy! Wow, what's a fucking great move! Great move on your part. Fucking
again, we are the ones who are discovering this stuff. You can find out.
We're the one who
2 years later
outed, not only outed Liam Gray as being a false flagger because we got him to start false flagging, but we then outed Ethan Van Sciver for illegally. I mean, I guess I don't know if you can say illegal funding, but as far as I'm concerned, it should be illegal. But Ethan Van Sciver did fund Liam Gray, who false flagged our channel. He paid him like at least $1,000, over $1,000 actually. And again, we are the ones who outed that. And in fact, when we did that, Ethan Van Sciver was forced to back off and start very publicly, like in a PR campaign nightmare, PR disaster, fucking like repair campaign, was going out very loudly trying to proclaim that he was against Liam Gray when he not only in favor of Liam Gray false flagging our channel, but he actually in public went in and defended Liam Gray false flagging our channel. So Ethan Van Sciver also is in favor of false flagging people who are, just posting facts, and which is all we've ever done.
In particular, all we do is we just post facts.
Yeah. So again,
when we post the facts and they fucking try and cover up for that, that's when they get
or they just go to denial. Really, the main tactic in response from Comicsgate and War Campaign and Ethan Van Sciver directly was to go into denial as the evidence was there. And the thing is that they did know that Ethan, like everyone who was in Comicsgate and supporter of Comicsgate, would refuse to look at truth. The facts could be right there in front of them, and they would just turn around and say, "No, I'm not going to look at that." And all of them collectively did that. Every single person in Comicsgate has collectively and individually done that, either at some point or every step of the way. And again, if you want to see the truth, if you want to actually hear the truth about Comicsgate, subscribestar.adult. It has to be adult because
we are adult. We can't allow you stupid children in Comicsgate to listen to
you
us.
Effeminate, whiny, truth-fearing people in Comicsgate to be like, oh, it shouldn't be allowed. We're going to flag him because it should be adult or whatever. So, it has to be the adult version, just for videos, essentially. And it's behind the $5 paywall because, again, $1 wasn't doing it. A lot of people were paying $1 just to false flag our videos, and they were people in Comicsgate. And also, strangely enough, some of the people in Preston Poulter's circle, but that's a whole other story. And we've talked about that, but we've talked about that in some videos, which are behind the paywall too. $5 to see that. If you don't want to see our videos, $20. $20.
If you want us to stop making videos,
$20 for us to stop making videos. Fucking $40 to not see the big third eye blind Hootie and the Blowfish double bill. Anyways, but yeah, that's good to support us if you actually care about objective reality and the truth. Which again, that's not me saying that. That's not my opinion of what things are. It's what other people, other better creators in comics, who are better than Comicsgate, people who are too good for Comicsgate, have said about us, which is, I guess, that could make me prideful. But to be honest, it's sort of just a neutral feeling for me because it just is what it is. That's what we've always been like, though. Just reality is just reality. It's not anything special to us. There's no reason to be proud of speaking the truth, even when nobody else will speak it.
Apparently, we have to be proud to speak the truth now because all of you people are such liars.
Or afraid to talk openly about it.
So cowardly.
It's like because it really surprised me sometimes. Anyone could do these videos, but nobody really does. And I understand why there are some people who are like, yeah, I understand why. Like, I understand why Doug doesn't and why Tim and Mark, don't do a bunch of videos talking about this because they would rather just focus on the work and stuff. But we can do both. And plus, in a way, this always has been our work. It's just talking openly. But anyways, we're approaching 50 minutes, and I want to get to the deep dive. I want to get to the to some Deep Rock Galactic.
I want to get
mining
dishes.
dwarf mining adventures.
I want to get to the dishes and also the beer.
Yeah. So yeah, make sure to unlike, share. Really, I guess you have to subscribe and you have to hit the bell, I guess. But then don't unsubscribe and don't hit the bell. And yeah, again, if you want to hear there'll be early access for our episodes about the documentary of Comicsgate. That'll be on our Subscribe Star. We will eventually post those, but if you want to at least support Telling the Truth, go to our Subscribe Star. At least give $1 or something, or $5 to see all our super secret, cool, fun videos that other comic pros say are the best videos about comics, possibly in the entire universe. In the history, I don't know if people actually said that.
I would not take their word for it. I would just say it's true.
Don't take Doug TenNapel's word for it. Find out how we are the most honest people on YouTube for yourself, most honest, by donating to our Subscribe Star.
And by far the least fucking complainy.
Yes.
Fucking, by all means, go ahead and listen to those other losers if you want to. You're not gonna, it's kind of like the fucking Jordan K thing. It's like you could be subscribed to Jordan K.
You're not going to get anything out of it. Jordan K, laugh your tears away, not smart guy.
But that is exactly Comicsgate in a nutshell.
It was funny. Anyways, yeah. So donate to us. The links below, and remember what some of your favorite creators say behind your back. Comicsgate is that you should have listened to shitty webcomics.